Hi there, I have this trap listed for some reason as the chicken trap in the elephant counter gambit. So it starts off with e4, e5, knight f3 and the elephant counter gambit, a good surprise value weapon for black with d5. In previous videos we looked at knight takes on e5, but here we're looking at what is possibly a better move for white, e takes on d5. Black will continue with this irritating pawn wedge-like move, e4, hitting the knight, but need not move the knight, queen e2, pinning the pawn. Knight f6 defends it, and here white would do best to play a move like d3, challenging that e4 pawn again. If instead white chooses to defend the pawn on d5 with c4, then I think black is already given slight advantage. Black's going to develop the king's bishop now, and the natural bishop c5 is perhaps not the best. In this position, white could continue aggressively with d4 now, hitting that bishop. But if white plays knight c3, logical in a sense, targeting the pawn on e4, then black is already close to winning. First, castles means the knight on f3 is still hanging, and the pawn on e4 cannot be captured because if knight takes on e4, we'll have a look at this for a variation first, knight takes on e4, then black's going to play knight takes on e4, and queen takes on e4 means black is definitely going to get something happening along that e file. It's not immediate. It might transpire rook e8 hitting the queen. White's going to have to interpose with knight e5. Black can play knight d7 here, nothing wrong with that, or the more obvious looking f6 hitting the knight. White's going to counter with d4 hitting the bishop. But the bishop can move to b4, throwing in a check, bishop d2, and now black picks up that piece, f takes on e5. If white plays d takes, the bishop takes on b4, then the pawn on e5 is going to take d4, releasing the rook, which is going to pick up the queen. So white can't take the bishop on b4, d takes on e5, and black plays knight to d7, leaving the bishop on b4 hanging because black is threatening rook takes now on e5, again winning the white queen. White can try e6, but after now bishop takes on d2 and king takes on d2, knight f6 hits the queen. Black is already a piece up, has to be careful of these dangerous pawns in the center that white has established, but after queen d3, c6 now is going to break up white's central pawns and black is going to be winning. So going back, and instead of taking the pawn on e4 in this position here, instead of taking on e4, if white runs with the knight on f3 back to g1, then black can win with bishop g4, developing, hitting the queen. And if f3, interposing, then e takes on f3, hitting the queen, and threatening as well rook e8, again going to pick up the queen. And if the queen then runs out of the dangers of the e file to d3, then a nice mate with f2, checkmate, defended by the bishop on c5 while the other bishop cuts off the king's flight squares. So this has been the chicken trap in the elephant counter gambit. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.